sound to outsiders, the notion of a blood feud based on family serves a valuable function for the community.
One could imagine that this could escalate to the village as a whole because kinship networks are extensive, or it could escalate to a whole region based on some form of alliance. So to keep the man sequestered keeps the conflict within this particular family or between two families. So in this way, it's a method by which the conflict is not allowed to escalate.
Today, on remote village streets, the ancient system of justice has warped into lawlessness.
Since the day we were founded, we've tried to reconcile cases of blood feud, as well as intervening in disputes before any blood is shed. That is our mission.
Coming up, meet a man targeted in a blood feud who's been trapped in his home for 10 years. And later, a Texas judge brings an age-old punishment into the 21st century. Hoping to end the violence for one Albanian family embroiled in a blood feud, today, mediator Jin Mekshi meets with Naim Selimi. For 10 long, grueling years, Naim has lived secluded from society in a compound with barricaded walls. He tells Jin the story of how his ordeal began.
I remember it as though it was 10 days ago. It was not meant to happen.
Naim's feud started on a fateful night 10 years ago, when he and friends were drinking at a bar. As the night grew late, an argument turned violent. Fearing for his life, Naim ran, but his friends continued to attack.
They knocked me down, and they were attacking me. I said, "Please, don't hit me."
Naim pulled out a gun and fired a deadly shot. The courts, ruling that Naim acted in self-defense, gave him a short jail sentence.
My God, it wasn't my fault. I didn't mean to do it. If they attacked you, what would you do?
But the victim's family claims their honor remains violated. To redeem it, Naim or a member of his family must die.
I live in fear. I don't sleep. Last night, the dog started barking at 2, and I woke up. I couldn't go back to sleep. Of course, it is understood. It's horrible. Spend a night here, you'll be surprised to see how we live in fear for our lives.
For outsiders, living under this form of tribal justice may seem incomprehensible. Tradition permits that Naim or his family may be killed if they leave their property. Trapped in his home, Naim is unable to work. Not even his children are safe from revenge, so they can't go to school and must play at home instead. Although there's a nearby market, it's too dangerous to shop there. Naim's family struggles to survive off greens from their garden and animal feed.
There is nothing more terrible than you being healthy, being able to work, but you cannot work. And all you do is sit around the house, watching your children having nothing to eat but corn.
The family has lived like this for close to a decade. Their situation is more desperate than ever.
It happens once in a lifetime. And you wonder how this could happen to me.
Jin leaves Naim with the promise he will try his best to help. The only hope is to arrange a truce with the family of the victim. It won't be easy for people unaccustomed to forgiveness. Although the victim's family has their freedom, they're also suffering. The pain of their loss is still fresh.
The killer continued to shoot my son, even after he was dead. That is not right.
Even though they're tormented by their son's death, the parents want to forgive me.
I think of this as coming from my soul. I want to follow God's way on this one. God says to judge right.
But they are unable to end the cycle of killing because their sons insist on revenge.
The two main reasons they will not forgive, they are filled with the pain they feel for their brother, and the second, young guys, they judge in a rush, and they don't think of the future.
Without the forgiveness of the entire family, there will be no truce. Jin leaves, having earned only a promise that the father will again ask his sons for peace. But in blood feuds, the concept of killing for honor is reinforced by family and community.
Sometimes there are people who intentionally push for revenge. If people are thinking about reconciling, this person will go to them and say, "What are you thinking? Why will you not take revenge?"
After centuries of personal justice, murder has become a civic responsibility. It has been 6 days since Dila Kuvendi was killed. Her family must now decide whether to follow an old tribal code or a new system of justice, and whether redeeming their own honor is worth risking the safety of future generations. Whatever the Kuvendis decide, as long as the state legal system is weak and cultural values strong, blood feuds in Albania are likely to continue. Righteous and just to avenge a murder with another murder? You might say no, but for some, these punishments fill a need that more conventional forms of justice may not. For the scales of justice balance differently in different cultures and swing between the accepted and the taboo.